Gary the groundhog, it is not time to come out for me little burrow. Did you see? That is the bravest groundhog on the Ile Notre Dame.
Verstappen 1, Alonso 2, groundhog 3rd. Fastest people on the lap. That was crazy.
This is Sportscentre.
Hey, I'm Kirk, and the CFL season is in full swing. Week 2 is officially done, and we're now headed into Week 3 with a lot of big questions. So to recap, here's the first edition of 3 Downs. Down 1. Who's the best team in the West? We are literally going to find out in Week 3, as the only 2-0 teams in the league square off in Winnipeg. The Bombers are off to another hot start with Zach Collaros dialed in, and I'm not going to say we look the same, but we look the same. Through 8 games, only one team has scored 40 or more points in a single game, and Winnipeg's done it twice. That's now what the Lions have to slow down, and getting to Collaros is going to have to be their top priority. But through 2 weeks, the Bombers have only allowed 2 sacks. Alright, it's second down, and the Chad Kelly era is officially underway for the Argos. We're talking 3 rushing touchdowns, and a huge win against the Ticats in Toronto's season opener. And while there's room for improvement in the passing department, you have to feel pretty good of what you saw from Swag Kelly if you're a fan of the Double Blue. Now, we're on to down 3, and it's time to panic in Hamilton. During that loss to the Argos, Bo Levi Mitchell left with an injury and the Ticats fell to 0-2. Right now, there's no update on how long Bo could be out. And if it's an extended period, you have to think the Ticats are in some serious trouble. With Montreal and Toronto on the schedule 3 of their next 6 games, this stretch might define Hamilton's season. And a reminder, Week 3 of the CFL season kicks off Thursday on TSN with the Lions and Bombers at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific.
You're so incredible, but out of all 3 disciplines, the squat, the deadlift, the bench press, what are you most excited about?
For sure the deadlift. Let's go, get it, go!
That was from over the weekend, with the Special Olympics getting underway in Berlin, one of the most inspiring sporting events in the world. And our very own Jesse Pollock is over in Germany right now taking in the games. Jesse, how's it going?
Hey Ricky, doing great, man. Another beautiful day in Berlin.
Jesse, we saw how some of those athletes were fired up at the opening ceremonies. You were there to witness it. What was your favorite part about your first day in Berlin?
Oh, the opening ceremony was great. So many good moments. But personally, my favorite was just walking behind Team Canada and watching them enter the stadium. Unbelievable, huge smiles. Such a special moment that I know the athletes will never forget. I'll never forget. And then also, once we walked out, I looked behind me and Tim Tebow was just standing right there. I was like, holy smokes, this is pretty cool. So yeah, just a really, really special night. There were pretend animals walking around the track. It was amazing. I never really seen anything like it in my life. So very special.
There's 7,000 athletes from 190 countries taking part in the Special Olympics. And there are 26 different sports. Which event are you most excited to check out?
Well, Eric, as I said on my last Digital Sports Center hit, I'm very excited for powerlifting. Competition was supposed to take place today, but it got postponed to tomorrow, and you better believe that this guy's going to be there live in attendance to see how much the athletes can lift, because I love lifting myself, and I know that all these athletes can lift way more than I can. So very excited to see that. Got track and field going on behind me right now. We're just getting underway here, and so excited to see what the next week holds at the Special Olympics World Games.
Jesse, from Kamloops to Berlin, Pitbull's given up his nickname. You're the new Mr. Worldwide. Thanks for coming on.
Awesome. Thanks, Eric.
To basketball, and the finals may have ended for Nikola Jokic last week, but he's finally made it back to Serbia for his one true love, horses. Now, all that indifference the Joker had after the finals may not have been indifference at all, because he was right where he said he'd be, back in his hometown at the track. And being a man of little words, Jokic ducked the media. He was there to soak up the afternoon with his family. But while Jokic was relaxing, the Phoenix Suns were plotting to unseat the champs. They're finalizing a trade to snag Bradley Beal from the Wizards for a package that includes Chris Paul. The deal would unite Beal with KD and Devin Booker, forming what has to be the most feared trio in the NBA. Durant is the second highest amongst active players in points per game, while Booker is 11th and Beal is 17th. And Beal's still only 29 years old, and just 2 years removed from back-to-back seasons of over 30 points per game. But the trouble now lies beyond the big 3. Phoenix only has 5 players currently under contract. And with over $160 million tied up between the big 3 and DeAndre Ayton, they don't have much flexibility to add more talent. So, how about a way too early look at next year's title odds? Jokic and the Nuggets are still favorites to repeat, but the Suns are in the mix now at plus 650. And you can't forget about the Bucks and Celtics either.
Why aren't you playing?
Okay, hop aboard. Let's get to school.
My family and I watch the game every night. We want to watch you play.
Please take your seat so we can get to school on time.
come back and play.
Okay, you're right. I will.
To baseball, and who's in the mood to talk about the Jays after another uninspiring weekend? So, how about another Canadian storyline? One involving arguably the greatest Canadian baseball player ever. Joey Votto posted this on Sunday, indicating he's on his way back to Cincinnati after completing his rehab stint following a surgery for a torn rotator cuff. Votto hasn't played since last August, and he's certainly on the downside of his career. But how about a minute to recognize his greatness? Votto is third amongst Canadians in batting average and second in runs, doubles, homers, and RBIs, trailing only Hall of Famer Larry Walker, who did have the benefit of playing 10 of his 17 seasons at Coors Field. And even though he's not near his peak, having Votto around has gotta help the Reds, who happen to be the hottest team in baseball with 8 straight wins. And they just swept the defending world champs. Joey Votto, a Canadian treasure. Enjoy him while you can, as he's 39 and in the final year of his contract. That's all for today. We'll be right back here tomorrow at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. Have a good one.